Okay, so in this video, we are going to explore AA panel. In the last video, we installed it. In this one, we are going to explore it. Okay, so without wasting time, let's get started. So this is the AA panel. I have currently done the login into the AA panel. So once we log in into the AA panel, we get something like this. Nice dashboard, and we have few tabs. The status tab is there, the overview tab is there. Obviously, there is a software tab and this traffic, etc. Okay, so I'm considering you are a technical person. If you are a technical person, you definitely know what is this status tab saying. It says the load status, the CPU usage of the server, the RAM usage of the server, and this is the file. So there is a slash as of now. I'm not sure if the page is not loaded correctly or something. So let me just refresh one more time. So this slash should say file manager. Okay, so it is not saying, then okay, it is referring to root file manager or root file location, which is slash. So yeah, that's all. And this is the load status. So load status is basically how much load the server has or a panel has. Okay, so if let's say our server RAM has 2 GB RAM, our core is 2 core processor, and we are hosting like 100 website on it, definitely this load status is going to go really up. Okay, and let's say you have the one website and you have multiple visitors in the hundreds and thousands of visitors, then also this load status going to change. Okay, so for me, I have 1 core and 2 GB RAM, so that's why the load is showing little bit, and I haven't done any hosting. This is just for testing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and let's start exploring the panel. Okay, so the first option is obviously the home. You know what is the home. Next is website. So here basically we can add the website, or we can host the websites. This is the section of the website. The section of the website currently divided into the two part, which is, one is PHP project, then another is node project. In the PHP project, there will be PHP project, WordPress website. There will be Laravel projects that can be hosted. In the Node project, there will be React.js, Next.js, Express.js, normal Node project, any JavaScript project, anything can be hosted inside the Node project. Okay, so let's explore the PHP first. So when we click on the add, it says create site, and there is a domain name section available, and there is a list of the domain name that we can pass. Okay, so as you can see in the help section, it is showing we can, let's say my domain name is, by the way, 1yts.in. So not yts, 1yt.in, I guess. Yeah, so I can just pass 1yt.in, then again I can pass www.1yt.in in case I need the www domain also. I'll just separate with the new line, and I'll just type www.1yt.in, and the description of the website, then root of the website. Here we have liberty to choose the path for the website within the web root. Okay, so we can just click here and choose the path wherever we want to install it. Then there is a FTP service, which is optional. If you want to add the FTP service, you can choose it. Same goes for database and PHP version. In the by default PHP version, it's a 74, but if you want to change the PHP version to something else like 82, it can be done. Then there is a site category. Basically, this is for the management of your websites. It has nothing to do with the actual website. It is just a management on the panel. So we can just make the two groups of the website, let's say e-commerce websites, then there is a WordPress website separately, something like that, right? Then there is a SSL. You can either click on apply for SSL right here. It will use by default open source SSL from Let's Encrypt, which is free SSL. And you can add the rule in the htaccess file also to redirect all HTTP traffic to HTTPS version of the website, right? So that can be done here. When you click on the submit, it will create the website. Similarly, we can create the batch of the website. We can create the WordPress deploy also. We don't need to create the website and then set up WordPress on it. You can use the Express WordPress deploy. You can just add the all of the details, username, password, email, database name, etc. And you can just click on the submit, and that will create WordPress website for you. Okay, so for me, just click on the submit right here on this 1yt.in. For me, there will be no SSL because the DNS record is not pointed to this particular uh, domain, so there will be no SSL set. So as you can see right here in the status, it is saying no SSL set because I didn't point the 1yt.in to this particular IP address. Okay, that's okay. That will be covered in the next section. Okay, so when we click on this particular name, which is 1yt.in, website name, domain name, whatever it is, we will find a lot of settings here. So what are these settings? Domain manager. In the domain manager, you will see how many domains can access this particular directory. That means if you want to visit this website, which domains can be used. So 1yt.in is also there, www.1yt.in is also there. If I want to host on different domain, let's say taste.com, then also I can add right here. Okay, and I can just click on add right here and that will be done. Then there is a sub directory binding. So you don't need to focus on this one if you are beginner, but this will be used to by the other processes when there is a SSL needed, right? Then there is a site directory. You obviously know the file directory, or let's say the file manager where the website is. You can just choose the path right here, click on the folder also, that will be done. Then there is a limit access. Here we can access limit the access. I haven't used this, but it looks like we can encrypt the website itself, so that we can, if there is a new administrator on this panel, then can be only accessed using the password. Then there is a traffic control. Obviously you can control the traffic. URL rewrite. So let's say there is a website called test.com/xyz, but you want automatically this /xyz redirect to the something else. Like if someone is visiting test.com/xyz, then it will be redirected to the google.com, something like that, right? So that rules can be added here. Then there is these are not the only rewrite rules. There are a lot of rewrite rule. If you want to check, you can just google it, you will find it, right? Then there is a default indexes. So it's by default added for PHP project. The index file either can be index.php or index.html, and the default.php or default.html. So it's already added according to PHP project. Then there is a configuration. Obviously you don't need to go into all of these because all of these configuration changes also available in this particular tabs. Only thing is here you can access the directly configuration file. Then there is a SSL. In SSL we have 2-3 options. First, current SSL, which is there is no SSL. Then there is a business certificate. Basically we can purchase SSL. Then there is a let's encrypt, which is free version of the SSL. Then there is a certificate holder. So I'm not sure why this option is there, but yeah, it's there. In the let's encrypt, you can just apply for the SSL and it will get the free SSL for your website, right? So once it is done, it will appear right here and you can just click on save and enable SSL and that will do the thing. Then there is a PHP version. Obviously you know what is the PHP version for the website. If you want to switch, you can switch. If you want to change, you can change switch. It's the best thing, same thing actually. Then there is a composer. You don't need to worry about this, just skip the part. Then there is a redirect. Obviously you know what is a redirect. One site can be redirected to the another site, or one site's path can be redirected to another site's. Reverse proxy, we don't need to look into the reverse proxy, but let's say you are hosting your website on port 3000, then you can add port 3000 reverse proxy right here, so that if someone is accessing the domain, it will show the website which is on the port 3000. This is mainly helpful in the where we are using the Docker hosting. Okay, so on the Docker we can host the website on port 3000, then we can access that port right here, and then again we can basically host the website using that port, right? So this is how we can do. Then there is a hot link protection. Basically we can just limit the crawlers on the internet to access the file. So that's a hot link protection. Then there is a response log. Obviously the access logs are there. Error logs will be coming here if there is any project error, or if someone is requesting something and getting error, that will be logged in here. Then there is a log security analysis, which is I think the pro version, because I've been using a panel quite a long time, but when I go to log security analysis, I don't get anything. Okay, so I think that's all. So let's go ahead and let's move to the node project. In the node project, as you can see, I haven't installed the node.js on the server, so that's why it is asking click to install. So let me just confirm it and install node.js on the server. So once it is done, we can just do the refresh, and that should be it. So yeah, node.js is installed right now. If you want to add the node.js versions, you can click on node version manager. Here you can install the different version of the node.js, and we can have multiple version of the node.js at the same time on the server, but it will be used differently for the website. Okay, so right now, as you can see, we have all website versions, sorry, node.js versions available, including the testing versions, stable versions, and everything. So if you want to install, let's say 18 point, let's go with the 20.11.1, then we can just click on here, and it will start installing that particular node version. We can have again the multiple versions of the node, right? So right now it's taking a little bit time, so I'm not sure why. I'll just click on the uh, screen. So it looks like the Node.js has been installed, and it is installing PM2 model, which is model basically will create the bridge between Nginx. If you remember, we have selected Nginx as a main web server for the AI panel. So it will create Nginx, a connection between Nginx and the Node project. Between them, there will be PM2. So it's a PM2 is a basically service that can be used to deploy options. Let's say so the PM2 service can be used to deploy Next.js applications, right? So we have the stable version right here. Go back and click on the add node project here. As you can see, again, we can create manually folder for any website and just select that as our node project, or we can leave it the empty here and it will create accordingly. Then there is a name, then there is a run opt. So what is a run opt? Basically it's a which command needs to be run in order to run the project. So we don't need to add here anything. It will be automatically detected. So once you put the project, if it is a React project, automatically it detects and gives the command, right? Then there is a port, on which port you want to host, and then there is www or root user requirements. Then there is a node version, obviously the domain name, obviously, and you are mentioning the port here. So you, let's say I have mentioned the 5000 port, then you might be thinking that, oh, I need to create the reverse proxy for 5000 port because I have mentioned it. No need to create that. In this project it will be automatically managed. Okay, so this is how you can create the node project. Then there is a FTP. So what is FTP? FTP is a basically file transfer protocol. So let's say you create the website and you want to transfer files to the website, then you can use the FTP service. During creation of the website, we can create the FTP, but if you want to create separately, you can just create it. Make sure that you are choosing the right path. So if I want to create the FTP for, let's say, 1yt.in website, then I select this part and click on the select, and then only I can able to create this particular stuff, right? So once it is done, obviously there is a change FTP port available, which is not available by default for all panels. This is the secure way basically to manage the FTP. Great. Then there is a database. Obviously we have the database as a MySQL right here as a main database. Here we can create the MySQL database. The database creation process is quite simple. You add username, password, and that stuff. If you want to make it public, then you can just click on remote servers, or if you want to keep it local, you can just keep it local. Basically, if you want to expose the port of the MySQL, then you select that option. Okay, then there is a SQL server option is also available. Then there is a MongoDB available. MongoDB is also quite popular these days. Then there is a Redis available. We can use the Redis as a database. I know the Redis can be used to optimize the speed of the website as a cache, but Redis also can be used as a database in some cases. Okay, to store the let's say queue, right? But that's an advanced topic. We can just skip and go ahead. Then there is a PGSQL. PGSQL is a PostgreSQL. It's a quite popular relational database. I must say after the MySQL, the PGSQL is a most preferred option, right? So right now it is not installed, that's why it is saying click to install. If you want to use it in your project, make sure you install it from here. Okay, let's move ahead and go to the Docker. So in the Docker, I found little bit confusing because I think the Docker is only available for the pro version. Okay, so I tried to install the Docker, but it wasn't allowing me to add the container or use anything, right? So the Docker section is basically we can host the websites in the Docker, apps in the Docker, whatever we can do in the Docker. Docker is a basically isolated container from the base host OS. Let's say I have installed my Ubuntu 22.04 on my server, so that's a Ubuntu machine. When we create the Docker, we isolate that particular Docker from the base OS, so that let's say if I host my website in the Docker and Docker gets my website gets hacked in the future, then the Docker container will be get hacked. It will not affect the your server or let's say base host OS. Then that's all about the Docker. And if you know the Docker, definitely you know the Docker Compose, Docker template, image, network, volume, repository settings. Okay, so hence it is available for pro version. I will not go through that. Then there is a monitor option available. Obviously it says a lot by the name only. It will be having all monitor stuff that they can give in the free version. So we have the load average, we have CPU, memory, obviously that there will be disk also, network also, and there should be one more option available, which is network input separately and network output separately. And then there is a web traffic separately, the web traffic, because the network traffic can be the FTP also, it can be anything, but the web traffic be only the website traffic. So we need to have that one additional, but if they are not providing it, that's okay. Then there is a security option available. Security is basically the firewall. By default we get UFW firewall in the Ubuntu. I'm assuming they are using exactly same firewall, just they are providing the web interface for it. So firewall is basically we can protect our server. So by default when we install the server, we have 65,000 port, close to 65,000 port available. So each port hosts the different service. Some port are free, and suppose there is any vulnerability in our server or let's say OS, then in that case the attack can be conducted if the ports are open. So the firewall makes sure that we don't expose our port, unnecessary ports. So that's why, as you can see, there is a firewall rule. We are exposing port 80 because our websites are hosted. We are exposing port 21 because our FTP service is hosted, 22 for SSH, 41005 is for panel, and 7800 I don't know, but it is using something. Okay, it is also panel port, right? So other than that we are not doing anything, so it's for protection. Then there is a SSH. Here I think we can do SSH setup like adding the SSH key for automatic login. Then there is an anti-intrusion, I think kind of antivirus software which is paid. And then there is a system hardening. This is also available in the pro version. System hardening is basically it will analyze the whole system, whole server, and it will do all necessary hardening so that it will not get hacked or not get easily hacked. Then there is a web application firewall, which is WAF. That's also pro version. So if you want to use it, you can go ahead, but hence it is pro, I'm skipping it. Then there is a file manager. Obviously from here you can access the file for particular website or all websites at the same time. So here I have created one website, so if I click on here this one, as you can see, I can see the files. Let's go ahead, and there is a log. There are two types of logs. First is operation log, then there is running log, then there is a cron log. Cron log we cannot necessarily include in this particular log but yeah, there are log. Operational logs is all about the operations of the control panel. Then there is a running log. That's basically whatever we run in the control panel. Then there is a cron log. If we are adding any cron jobs in the control panel, like from this tab, we will go there. Then there will be logs for that cron also. Then there is a website logs. We can select the individual website from on the left panel and go to the logs. We can see access log, error log, and log security analysis, which is useless in my point of view because I haven't seen anything. I think they are scanning the logs for some kind of attacks, and they are presenting in the log security analysis, right? Log audit is also there. It's a paid version. We will skip SSH login logs. It's also paid version. We will skip. Then there is a soft log. I don't know what is soft log. It looks like FTP logs. Okay. Then there is a terminal option available. Terminal is basically when we do SSH login into the server, similar thing we can do using the web interface also. So that's what the terminal is. We can open multiple terminal, do the stuff. So this is just to avoid the directly SSH login manually using opening the CMD like this. That's why we have this kind of web interface. Then there is a cron. Cron is a quite interesting thing in the Linux. Cron is basically if you want to execute any job in a certain time period, or let's say in the loop, or let's say every morning, every day, or let's say every month, every year, or something like that, you can just configure that cron job here and Linux will do it. But make sure that you are adding limited job. If you go like hundreds of adding the hundreds of the cron job, it will fail eventually. It will not execute all cron jobs, right? So that's my personal experience actually with the Linux. If you go to the app store, definitely we can add additional plugins from the app store. There are a lot of plugins available. Obviously the paid ones will be there, but the free ones are also there, right? So let's say I want to add a new PHP version. So I just type the PHP, hit enter, and as you can see, I get all PHP version list. As of now, we are using 7.4, but if you want to add, let's say 8.0, we can add it, and we can manage the PHP also. We can install the PHP extensions also. We can change the upload limit, etc, etc. Everything is here, right? Let's go to the settings right here. Setting is not that much interesting because the setting is the setting of the panel itself, not the website. Okay, so what settings there will be in the panel? In the global section, as you can see, it is showing the basically a panel name, the timeout, the file where the a panel will be, and everything. And as you can see, as I mentioned in the last video, there will be panel user, a panel password, and safe access point. Where is the safe access point? Yeah, that's here, security interest. So these security interests can be changed, or you can just skip to the slash. This way, if you enter the IP address only, then also it will land you in the panel. Okay, so these are the temporary settings. If you go to the global settings, if you go to the panel settings more, you will see a lot of different panel settings here. In the security setting, you have the security also. I'm not going to go through all because these settings are common sense. So if you just click here and read the panel SSL, that tells if you want this self-signed SSL or not, right? If you say basic auth, then it will implement the basic auth rather than the standard authentication. Then there is a Google authentication. It can set up Google authentication, kind of login from the Google, or it's something like that, right? Continue with the Google account, something like that. So if I go here, let's say 5f5.in, in this website there is a Google login setup. So if I go here, log out, and then log in again, then as you can see, continue with Google option is available. Okay, so that can be done. When we click on the continue with the Google, as you can see, it is showing me my links that I have created, the short link, right? It shows the dashboard also, right? So let's go ahead with the alarm. In the alarm, basically we can create the notification. It's kind of monitoring system. So if there is a SSL expiry, we can create alarm, and it will alarm us that in 2 days there will be SSL expiry, something like that. We can implement for backups also. We can implement for others event in the website also, like the login in the panel and that stuff, right? So yeah, these things are available and it can be integrated with the other applications such as Telegram. If someone is logging into the control panel, you will get alert message on the Telegram has someone has logged in, something like that. So we have a lot of plugins integrations available here, but I'm definitely sure that some of them will be available only with the paid version, right? And again, there is a log and the settings of the alarm, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's all about the AA panel, at least for the beginners. And yeah, thanks for watching this one, and see you in the next one. We will start the hosting on the AA panel.